Hi everyone. In this video, we will discuss all the Python programs which are given at the beginning of the book. We will discuss all the programs and its codings. Let's start. Here we will discuss all the practical questions given in the content page. That is from question number 1 to 9, excluding the question number 4. Why? Because it is a bit lengthy one. So I will put it in some other video. So we will discuss question number 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9. Now let's begin with the first program. Recursively find the factorial of a number. Now, as you can see here we defined a recursive function called fact, which has taken a number n as its argument. So here the function fact is a recursive function. When a function calls itself, then it is called a recursive function. Recursion is a technique for solving a large computational problem by repeatedly applying the same method to reduce it to smaller problems. It has two parts, base case and recursive step. Here the function fact is called within itself. The base case is when n is equal to 1, then the result will be 1. That means it will return 1. So when n is equal to 5, then it will execute like this. Fact of 5 is n into fact of n minus 1, that is 5 into factorial of 5 minus 1, 4. Now again factorial of 4, the function will be called and its output is 4 into factorial of 3. Again factorial of 3 will be replaced by 3 into factorial of 2. And factorial of 2 will be replaced by 2 into factorial of 1. And factorial of 1 is 1. So ultimately it will return 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is 120. Okay, like this it will execute. Now the next question is read a file line by line and print it. Let's solve this one. Okay, let us open a file quote.txt which is already present, and we will open it in read mode because we have to read line by line, and to read line by line we can use the function read lines. Okay, and the output will be stored in a list. Let's say the variable is list1. Now with the help of a for loop we will print the content of the list, and after the operation we can close the file. So first we have created a file object f1 with the help of open method, where we have passed two parameters. First one is the file name, which is quote.txt, which is currently present in our system in the current path where our Python is present, and it is opened in read mode. And let's run it. See, this is the content of the file which is displayed line by line. Now this program is, we have to remove all the lines that contain the character A in a file, and we have to write it to another file. So let us open a file quote.txt in reading mode, and we will read the lines by using readLines method, and the output is stored in list1. Okay, now we will create two empty lists L1 and L2, and we will read the lines from list1. If the lines contain A, then that particular line will be appended to list 2. Or else if it doesn't contain A, then that particular line will be appended to list 1. Okay, now we will open another two files in write mode. Let's say copy.txt and again quote.txt. In copy.txt, we will write all those lines which are present in list 2. Our list 2 contains those lines that contain A. And again quotes.txt is opened in write mode. That means whatever is the content which is already present in the quotes.txt file, those will be erased or removed, and the new content will be written. And here we have written write lines L1. That means whatever is the content of the list L1, that will be written in the file code.txt. So for this purpose, we have created all these file objects F1, F2, and F3 for opening different files in reading and writing modes. And after doing the operations, we have closed all the files. Now let us see the output. As you can see here, copy.txt is the file which is containing the line which is having the letter A in it. And the other lines which doesn't have A in it, those are present in the file code.txt. Now, this is a dice simulation program where you have to roll the dice and it will give you some random numbers between 1 and 6. Okay, let's see. Here we are rolling the dice 2 times. The outcomes are stored in variables A and B. And to generate the random numbers, we have imported the random module and we have used the function randint, within which we have passed the values 1 and 6. That means it will show the values present between 1 and 6. Okay. To continue the game, we have taken a flag value. Here, flag is a variable which stores the Boolean values true or false. It is initialized with true. So once we execute the program, the dice will be rolled and it will show the random numbers. Then it will ask the user whether to continue the game or not. If the user enters yes, then it will continue once again. Otherwise, if the user enters N, then the flag value becomes false and it will print game over. Now let us run the program. It will show like this: first dice rolled, the first random number generated, that is 5, and second number is 6. Now again it will print, do you want to continue, yes or no. If you print Y or yes, then again it will print some random values for the dice, that is dice rolled, first number is 2, second number is 5. These are the randomly generated numbers. When you execute, then it will give some other random numbers. Then again it will ask whether you want to continue or not. If you press N, that means no, then it will print game over. Now the next program is write a recursive code to find the sum of all the elements of a list. Here we have defined a recursive function with name sum underscore list, and it has taken one list as its argument. The base condition is if the length of the list is 0, then it will return 0. And the recursive code is it will return the sum of the first element of the list and the recursive call of the same function with the list as parameter, where the list becomes list of one colon. That means the list contains all elements from index number 1 onwards, excluding the element which is present at index number 0. The function gets called repeatedly every time the length of list gets reduced by 1 until it meets the base condition, that is the list size becomes 0. Now let's see the output. Here is showing the sum of the elements of the list is 15. So what it is doing, the first execution, it is list of 0, that is first item in the list, that is 4. 4 plus some list of one column, that means the list becomes 5, 2, 3, 1, where the first element, that is 4, that is excluded. Like this it will continue recursively until the length of the list becomes 0 and the sum is stored in a variable sum. Now the next program is write a recursive code to find nth Fibonacci number. Let's see. Actually, in Fibonacci series, every number is the sum of its previous two numbers. Here we have defined a recursive function named FIFO, and the base cases are If number is equal to 1, it will return 0, which is the first number in Fibonacci series. And if number is equal to 2, that means n is equal to 2, it will return 1, which is the second number in the Fibonacci series. Then the recursive code says the function will be called recursively with arguments n-1 and n-2, and they are added. And now let's run this for num is equal to 5. As you can see here, the Fibonacci number at 5th position is 3. Let's see the execution steps of recursive function FIFO with value 5. So when we pass 5 in a function FIFO, then it will recursively call FIFO of 4 plus FIFO of 3. 5 minus 1, 4, and 5 minus 2, that is 3. Okay, now again, FIFO of 4 will be executing and it will call FIFO of 3 plus FIFO of 2. 4 minus 1, 3, 4 minus 2, 2. Again, FIFO of 3 will be FIFO of 2 plus FIFO of 1. 3 minus 1, 2, 3 minus 2, 1. Now again, FIFO of 3 will be FIFO of 2 plus FIFO of 1. And now FIFO of 2 will be 1 because our base condition is if number is 2, then it will return 1. So it is returning 1 there. And next, FIFO of 2 is again 1 and FIFO of 1 is again 0. These are the base values that we have given in our recursive function. Now we will substitute the base values, that is FIFO of 2 is 1, FIFO of 1 is 0 in all these places, and we will get the output as 3. So like this the recursive function works. Now the next program is to implement stack and queue using list data structure. Now let us first implement the list as a stack. As you know, stack is a LIFO based data structure, that means last in and first out. That means whatever item you will enter, that will be entered at the last of the list, and if you want to remove some item, then that the last item will be removed first. So we have to implement a data structure in which once the items will be added, they will be added at the end. And once you want to remove some item, then the last item which was entered, that will only come out first. So this thing can be achieved by two functions, append and pop. So we have created a list data structure which will work as a stack here. So we have named it STK and we have entered some elements into it. First, we will print the original stack. Then we have defined two functions, push and pop. Push function will append one item at the end of the stack. And once pop function is called, then it will remove the last item which was entered, that is from the stack. Now we have called push function two times by adding two new elements at the end of the stack. And once we have called pop function one time to remove one item from the stack. Now let us run the program. The original stack is like this. It is containing some elements like peace, love, punctuality, beauty. And after adding some new items in the stack like compassion and honesty that we have added, these two items are added at the end of the stack. And after removing one item, that means after calling the pop function, one item is removed from the stack, that is honesty, which is the last item which is added at the end of the stack, that is removed. Now implementation of list as a queue. As we know, queue is a first in first out data structure. That means the first entered item will come out first and new entries will be done at the last. We can just think of a queue of line, like suppose you are waiting in a queue for some ticket or something, then we can think of this data structure. So let us take one list as a queue with name QUE, and we have entered some elements into it. And we have achieved this addition, that means append of elements and removal of elements by using two functions NQ and DQ. NQ function is to add items into the queue. Simply if you append the item, it will be added at the end of the queue. And to deq, to remove the element, the first element or the front element has to be removed. So we have used simply the method delete q of 0. That means the element which is present at the index number 0, the first element will be removed from the queue. Now we have called these two functions. Enqueue is called two times. That means two elements are added into the queue. And dequeue is called one time to remove one item from the queue. Now let us run the program. The original queue is like this. And after adding some items in the queue, those items are added at the end of the queue. And after removing one item from the queue, as you can see, the first item from the queue is removed. The first element which is there, that has to be removed first. Now the next program is to write a recursive function to check whether a string is palindrome or not. So here we have defined a recursive function called palin with a string as argument. The base case is when a length of the string becomes 0, it will return true. And the recursive code is if the first and last character of the string are same, then palin function will be called with the string being trimmed with the first and last character, else return false. We will call the function by passing a string as argument, and the return result is stored in a variable res. If res is true, then the string is palindrome. Now let us run the program. Let's say the entered string is madam, M-A-D-A-M. Now it is showing it's a palindrome. Now how is it is executing? The execution steps for the recursive function palin with argument madam is shown like this. First palin function is called with the argument madam. Then the next recursive call, what happens? The first and last character are checked, compared with each other. If they are same, then it is true. Then the next palin function will be called with a trimmed string where the first and last characters are trimmed or removed. So the middle characters are ADA. Now again it will compare the first and last character whether they are same or not. Here in this case it is A and A. So they both are same. Now those two letters will be trimmed. Now the next function call of palin will have the argument only D. Now it is showing yes, D will be compared with D. So it is also true. The next call palin will be blank. There is no string. The string is of length 0. So ultimately it will return true. Now here ends the solutions for part 1. Here we have discussed some of the questions, and the rest of the questions we will discuss in the subsequent parts because those are a bit lengthy. So I have created some other videos for them. So stay tuned for more solutions and do subscribe. Thank you.